Hello, everyone. I am Samson from the Medical Ethics and Humanities Unit, as Dr. Law mentioned. And today, really happy to share with you about our collaboration with the campus team, Dr. Lau, Coco, and Justin on the implementation of the campus project in Lee Ka-shing Faculty of Medicine. And so just a brief background for our unit. So in the past, we have been quite low profile, but we actually a unit established in the year of 2012, introducing humanism and ethics teaching and coordinating these teachings in the MBBS curriculum. So a large part of what we do is actually operating core medical humanities longitudinal program in the MBBS. So students admitted to Hong Kong Medicine from the year of 2012 would be required to go through a 6-year program in medical humanities with the mission to nurture students into caring physicians. So just to let you know that our interest in aging actually entered the campus collaboration. But when campus team pitched the idea to us, we said, well, yes, let's do it. And just about us, Harry, as Dr. Law mentioned, is a medical historian, and our coordinator in MBBS Year 4 Medical Humanities is Dr. Abigail Wright, who is a palliative medicine doctor by training. And for me, I'm an alumnus of the Master of Social Sciences in Gerontology program at HKU. So what we have so at the beginning of this collaboration, we met with the campus team to discuss what we want to do for medical students. And I think one of what we want to do is to help students understand and to have a more holistic view of aging. Because with the recent advances in anti-aging medicine, regenerative medicine, with the essence of medical consultation that focus on speed and efficiency, and with the clinical exposure in the clinical curriculum to a large part of vulnerable, frail old adults, students or medical students might have the chance of developing some kind of age-related biases. For example, previous overseas research have shown that age-related biases in medical students might be viewing older adults as or maybe viewing the process of aging as a biological process of decay, degeneration, and deterioration. So this is what we do not want our students have this mindset. And so when we discuss with campus team, so we brainstorm what we can do. So I think these age-related biases in medical students is somewhat true, because before our workshops, we actually invite medical students to submit a photographic reflection. So each medical student was asked to capture a scenery that represents aging, be it someone they meet or a scenery that they see in the daily lives. And interestingly, but perhaps not surprisingly, this is a large part of the photos that we have. Sunset. It's always taken from a blurry angle, capturing the gloominess of aging and the dark side of aging. The annotation that students write is about positivity, but just viewing from the images, it's pretty sad to me. And also, this is also one of the photographic reflections submitted by students. So the annotation really follows through the logic of medicine, but it's also really sad because the students reflect on aging as a process of musculoskeletal degeneration, and then you have chronic conditions, and then troubled by these chronic conditions, you have social aversion, and then you live alone, and then you have diminished social participation. And in some sense, the theme of the title of this artwork is actually cage, in the sense that the aging spirit is caged in a degenerating body, and the aged person is caged in his or her institutional care facility or her own home. So this is what we want to do to try to reverse this kind of thinking and to advocate for another side of aging. So project for what we do, we actually choose an area of intervention, which is Year 4 MBBS students as they enter clinical curriculum. So we want to have something about the diversity of aging around the time that they are starting their clerkships. And with the South Pole team, so this is what we did in the academic year 2019-20, all medical students in MBBS Year 4 would be required to take a 2.5-hour workshop on diversity of aging. So before the workshop, students are invited to submit a photo that captures their perspective or concept of aging. And then they are asked to, and also senior champions are also invited to submit these photos. And then the campus team help us to mix these photos and to circulate them anonymously for everyone's review. And then at the session, we actually, senior champions, students, and our facilitators all form small groups to discuss these issues of aging as reviewed in the photos. And then there's also an educational research element supported by the campus team. So I'm happy to show you. So this is what we do. So for the photographic reflection, our only question prompt is what is aging? So there's no preset agenda. There's no specific topic that we would like to raise. We ask students to blend in their own topics and their areas of interest. So the workshop comprises of a short introductory talk by Dr. Abigail Wright on the importance for medical professionals to have a holistic understanding of aging, followed by, you see happy faces of students interacting with senior champions just to have a discussion on what aging is, facilitated by our clinical facilitators, also teas and cookies from Marks and Spencer. So this is where our money goes. Also, at the end of the day, students are asked to select some photos that impact them and to really do a small group presentation on their interpretation of the photos and to understand why and how the photographer interpreted the photo that way. So a lot of issues were actually covered in our discussion. For example, the beauty of aging, loneliness in leisure and old age, the concept of happy aging as compared to productive aging, the issue of polypharmacy and the loss of appetite in old age, and perhaps more importantly, the human lifespan, seeing the progression of aging as universal to everyone. So I put a star here to remind me to let you know that at the second half of this session, the campus team will also be talking about another collaborative effort with the common call to pilot the human lifespan minor. So I think because what we do is really a compulsory mandatory workshop for all students. So obviously, not every student take the issue of aging seriously. So there are those who just be really mindless about doing an assignment, and perhaps this is what, and perhaps they just solicit materials from the daily lives on what they think aging is. So this is one of the submissions. It's quite interesting that the students, in a way that he sees aging, the title of this picture is really Aging of Medical Students, in which the students reflect upon, well, they are perhaps 2 to 3 classmates sleeping in class, and why would medical students be such passive and inactive? And so so instead of laughing it off, it's actually a chance for us to stimulate discussion. So it actually, on first glance, it's perhaps a subpar submission, but eventually, or coincidentally, it became a chance for us to develop our own awareness and to critique our own thoughts. So at our section, actually, some students actually picked on these photos to do the presentation, to reflect upon what was the hidden assumptions of aging as reflected in that photo, and also to consider new perspectives and the implications to our own future practice if we consider aging this way. So in a sense, it's a subpar submission at the beginning, but at the end of the day, it's also materials for us to reflect upon ourselves and our own assumptions of aging. So looking back, the collaboration with the campus team has really been successful. It's a chance for us to improve and to improve our development of a medical humanities curriculum. And we also have the support, educational support from the campus team to measure the efficacy and efficiency of this intervention, which we have not been able to do before. So, perhaps to conclude my sharing, I would like to end this part with one of the outstanding submissions from one of the medical students, which we think really encapsulates the spirit and the essence of this collaboration. So thank you. Just to see if Harry and Coco has anything to add.
Okay, thank you, Samson. I think Samson has already very thoroughly and concisely summarized what we've been doing in this campus project. And I think this project comes quite timely because now, as in clinical medicine, we are seeing that the nature of suffering and disease is already changing. And then so it is not, well, with doctors, for our future doctors, MBBS students, they are no longer interveners of diseases or diseased individuals. They will become companions of people who are aging, actually. And actually this kind of, as you can see from our presentation, that aging is still a concept that awaits rigorous redefinition and critique, right? So this, I really like this, this idea to really invite champions to introduce to students different aspects, different perspectives of aging, so that students will no longer follow single pattern, a single logic as a clinician. And then so so this is the only point that I'm trying to make. And then this is only a 2.5 hours kind of sharing taster kind of workshop. I think the challenge would be, how do we in the future immerse this kind of this teaching in the whole in the whole curriculum? This would be our challenge. Thank you, Samson, and thank you, the Sao Po and Campus Project.